Welcome to the Corpse Club, the official podcast of dailydead.com. I am one of your co-hosts, Derek Anderson, and I am thrilled to be joined today by my co-hosts, Tamika Jones and Scott Drebit. Thank you very much for joining me today.
Yeah.
Always a pleasure, D-Dog. You know that.
Hey, D-Dog. I like it.
Let's get it trending on Twitter. But in the meantime, today on today's episode, we're going to be looking ahead at the release calendar to some of our most anticipated genre movies coming out in fall. And I suppose you could say late summer as well. It's that sweet spot where a lot of genre movies have traditionally been released in theaters. And this year, we're also going to see some premium VOD releases as well. So there's a lot to look forward to. But before we look ahead, I know that some of us have seen some really interesting things lately. So I want to kind of go around the circle here and talk about some of our favorite recent viewing experiences. Maybe let's start with you, Tamika, because I know you recently saw the latest M. Night Shyamalan movie, Old, and I would love to hear about what that whole experience was like.
Okay. So I honestly, I don't know how I keep missing like trailers for stuff, because some movies I'll see the trailer like a lot, like on YouTube, like every other ad. It's like a horror movie. I think YouTube understands me now. The algorithm understands me now. But I somehow missed Old, and so I was walking by the movie theater that's attached to my local mall. And I saw the poster and I was like, wait, Old? What? M. Night Shyamalan? What? Why aren't maybe people are talking about it. I don't know. But it missed me. So I was so excited. So I thought, okay, I'm kind of scared, but we're going to do this. So I caught a matinee. And to be honest, there was like no one in there. It was like me and one other person. And he was sleeping. So yeah, that annoyed me. But yeah, so I felt okay. It was just basically me. That guy, he doesn't count. So I caught a matinee, and I have mixed feelings, because I certainly don't think, it's one of his worst. Absolutely not. I think this is definitely somewhere around like The Visit, or maybe like The Village. I know some people don't like the really care for The Village, but I own it on DVD. I love that movie. So I would put it somewhere kind of like in the middle ground, and his filmography. It definitely starts off, I think, pretty strong. Because again, I didn't know anything about the movie, so I didn't know the premise either. And so these survivors being on an island, and they're like rapidly aging, that kind of like freaked me out at first. Like, what? Okay, we're getting real M. Night Shyamalan. All right, I'm digging this, because I just knew that there'd be a twist. So I was like pumped to figure out what the twist was gonna be. But then, M. Night, you did me wrong, because it got real silly in the middle. Because I think I started to kind of piece together what was happening. I think that was part of it too. Now, now that I've had time to really think about it, like what kind of went south for me. I think it's when I started to kind of piece together, oh no, I think I figured out the twist here. And then as it goes along, it kind of like lost my attention. And the characters are just not, I know not every character has to be, wonderful. I'm fine with that. But there has to be somebody, And I just, no, what's the rapper's name? It was something goofy.
The character?
Yes, it was like his rap name is like super goofy. I remember
I think it was like Sedan or something.
Not short sedan. Sedan something. Hold on,
Some
let me look this up real
vehicle.
quick.
Yeah, I remember reading
sedan. Oh my
mid-size.
God.
Okay.
Yeah. I had to laugh out loud. That caught me off guard. And it was just so silly. Like, I know that rappers, some rappers, like modern rappers, have like really, most of them actually are just like a little something, like little pump or little B or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
But like, not even they would want to be called mid-size sedan.
Somewhere in the middle.
Oh my God, like that's so oddly specific too. Like not like a hatchback, a mid-size sedan. It was just like silly. I don't know. I couldn't. And then by the time we get to the twisty twist, which I had already kind of guessed, I was just really kind of furious. It was a roll. Okay, M. Night got me on a roller coaster of emotions, but for not the reasons he probably wanted. Like, it started off good, kind of plateaued in the middle, and then we go. We just the fall. There's a swan dive.
Yeah, that's kind of what I've been hearing. That seems to be like the general overall consensus. I think leans more towards starts off well and then just kind of falls apart. I'm still very interested to see it. I actually liked The Village, not The Village. Sorry. I really don't like The Village. The Visit,
Oh, okay.
I meant to say, because you were talking about both of those films there. I actually quite enjoyed The Visit. That was kind of the one where I got a little, I thought he had a little more pep in his step and it was tighter. And I'm like, okay, this is fun. And he's had a couple recently that I enjoyed, but I guess why I still keep going back is because no matter what, they're not going to be films that are ordinary, either in concept or design. I mean, they're filmed mostly in a very classic sense. Remember when M. Night was coming out, he was the next Spielberg, right?
Right.
So he has all of that. He has the technical ability. It's his writing where he goes, batshit crazy sometimes. and so that ends up affecting his, directing, vice versa. I mean, just look at The Happening. That is the most fascinating movie I've ever seen in my life. So I'm glad it's around. Mm-hmm. And I know people that are big fans of M. Night, and I do like quite a bit of his work. So I am still looking forward to checking this out, even though I kind of sort of have a faint idea of what I'm in for.
Yeah.
I love that you were able to see it too, like as a matinee, and then you didn't really know much about it. Cause I feel like, especially with his movies, that's the best way to experience them, because I think sometimes you go in and it's just, you kind of know what's going to happen. I guess with M. Night, you always know there's going to be a twist. So at this point, it'd almost be, he would almost surprise more people if there wasn't a twist at the end. But I love that you're able to go to the theater kind of like on a whim and then just experience the movie kind of like the way that it's meant to be experienced.
Yeah. Okay. Derek, I appreciate that positive spin. Oh, that is good. Okay. That knocks my fury down from like a 5 to like a 3.5.
Okay, there we go. And I mean, and I guess the guy that took a nap, I guess that's how he wanted to experience it. But hopefully he gets to see it again sometime. But
I mean,
when he woke up, he was 90 minutes older.
Oh my gosh. Now that's immersive marketing.
Whoa.
Gravity, man.
Power of gravity.
How do they work?
Yeah. I'm curious. It's based on a graphic novel too. So I'm curious, like if the graphic novel has that same ending or if he kind of did his own thing. It's one of those things. Maybe one day I'll check that out as well. But I'm glad to hear that, he's still out there making movies, and hopefully we'll continue to see some more genre stuff from him in the future. And Scott, I understand you also saw something recently that I have yet to check out as well. And that is, I think, a movie where you're supposed to be really quiet.
Are you talking about A Quiet Place Part 2?
Hey, yeah, I am. How did you know?
I don't know. I haven't seen it. No. Okay. Yeah. Quiet Place Part 2. The funny thing is that for Father's Day, I was going to see this in the theater, and then our theater shut down again.
Oh, okay.
Well, oddly enough, about 2 weeks ago, it showed up on our local cable box.
Ooh.
Here, I think it's through HBO. Quiet Place Part 2 picks up essentially where the last one left off, but it starts with a prologue of the first day of the outbreak of the aliens.
Oh, nice.
Which is just a phenomenally staged scene by John Krasinski, tempered for suspense just beautifully. And then, so he gets to be in the film for the first 10 minutes or so. And then it goes to, essentially right after the events of the first film, and Emily Blunt and Millicent and the other kid and the baby are on their way to find a new place to live. And they come across, not too far away, an old factory, whole factory, emptied, hollowed out factory complex. And I always mispronounce his name, and I'm going to do it again. Is it Cillian Murphy?
You got it.
Oh, yes.
And I remember Brian mentioned that on a previous episode. So that's why I know, because I was a Cillian guy for many years.
Listeners, well, you know how Brian torments me on this show. And make him feel known about it, that you want it to stop. Use the hashtag leave Scott alone, Brian, you poo-poo head. That's leave Scott alone, Brian, you poo-poo head. Hashtag. Okay, so back to the movie. So Cillian Murphy is there in this entire complex, essentially by himself, I think. Yeah, he's by himself. And he's got a pretty good setup there. I mean, for the time being anyway. Mm-hmm. So they do become, a family that does kind of come together out of, oppressive circumstances. Him having lost his wife and his child to the aliens. So he already knows loss, and he's kind of given up on life kind of thing. This family that he knows, socially, but not really all that well, kind of they bond and end up becoming a family. It's really just a continuation of the first movie, but it's better made. Krasinski's directing, I think, is stronger here. It's tighter, it's faster, really good character beats. Cillian Murphy is really great in it. Emily Blunt, of course, and the kids are great as well. Whether you're, in a quiet movie theater or in a quiet house or a loud house or an outhouse, A Quiet Place Part 2 is well worth anyone's time.
Now that needs to be on the poster, especially the outhouse part.
Yeah, it rhymed. It's very Dr. Seussian.
Always amping it up for the sequel. And Tamika, did you get a chance to see the A Quiet Place Part 2?
No, I would love to. I would love to see it. 'Cause I remember when that trailer, the two, those two, I think it was only two. I remember when they played those. It's like either earlier this year or last year. Time is a flat circle, listeners.
It really is.
It really is. I'm like, wait, what year is this? And like that still sticks with me. That like the beginning was really quiet, and Emily Blunt and the kids are like, it's like I guess before everything happens, like those bug creatures come, and so they're like just I think going to the store, and then they get in the car, and then all of a sudden this ginormous bug thing like comes out of nowhere, and then just they have to like back up the car real fast and drive in reverse.
Oh yeah,
that scene is it still like just
that's part of the opening scene. So no, that's the opening scene. That's where they show you. Remember, I said the first day of the attack.
Yeah.
So the movie opens with that scene, and it's about 10 minutes long or so, and it's fantastic.
I bet.
Nice.
That is. Oh God, that is such a great way to start off like a movie like that.
And then it seems like a prequel and a sequel, which is pretty awesome. And you can do that.
You get it all, baby.
Right.
And I believe this movie's on Amazon Prime right now in the States. So I really want to get around to watching that. I really enjoyed the first one.
And here in Canada, you're right. That's where I watched it. It was on Prime. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, I mean so now it's definitely readily available to watch, and I just need to make the time to do that. But I really enjoyed the first one, and I remember watching that in theaters, and there was so much anxiety about even like eating your candy because you don't want to crinkle a wrapper and make any noise. And I think whenever you can do that, isn't like make the audience want to be quiet. That's just
and have no fear, and have no fear that the sound design once again is fantastic.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited for that because, and like you mentioned, to see Krasinski continue to grow as a director, I think is really interesting. And I'll be really curious to see what he does after this as a director. I know they've talked about doing another Quiet Place movie, but I think it's more like set in the universe of A Quiet Place, and it's also going to be a different director. So I'm curious.
His co-writers are directing it. Brian Woods and Scott Beck.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think I'll have to check with the Daily Dead news desk, but I think let's see.
Actually, it looks like
I'm
Jeff
wrong on
Nichols. That. Yes. Although I'm glad you mentioned Scott Beck and Brian Woods, because this all started with a screenplay that they wrote, and it, they were actually going to direct it on like a pretty low budget, and then it caught the eye of Krasinski, which he came in and kind of added his touches to the script, and now it's kind of blossomed into this franchise, and it's allowed Woods and Beck have been able to do great things as directors, and they've got a sci-fi movie coming out, so it's really like I think it's just taken off more than anyone really expected.
Is anyone else tired of the word franchise when we talk about
right?
I just think McDonald's. I've always just thought McDonald's and Burger King. I've never thought movies they are. Technically they are. I don't know. I'm just being an old man yelling at cloud moment, but stop it.
Shaking that cane.
Stop it, you.
I get it. Because not everything needs to be a franchise, like some things it's just really nice to get like one special movie, like that you didn't expect, and it does extremely well. And no one expected that. It's like, okay. Like,
and what do you expect with your I forget what the hell we were talking about.
Oh, your Happy Meal or something like that.
Oh no, I was gonna say, well, what else do you put in your franchises but content? Right? Content goes in franchises and do. I don't like these terms used when we're talking about movies,
Well, every time I say that in the future, I'll put a quarter in the swear jar, and eventually we'll have a pizza party.
There we go.
From your favorite pizza franchise.
Love it.
Well, I haven't seen. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna put the period on that by saying I love franchises. I love food. This in no way is me speaking bad about franchises at all, but if you could keep them out of movie talk, that would be great. Thank you.
All right. Well, we'll keep that in mind for our Marvel Cinematic Universe discussion coming up. But in the meantime, I haven't seen any really new releases, but I have been watching recently on TV a little bit of the Rod Serling TV series Night Gallery. So I just want to mention that. And it's been really interesting. It's been on Comet TV. If you're looking to watch it yourself, I think it's on like every Saturday morning, at least in the US. And it's been really fun. It feels like a more kind of experimental version of the Twilight Zone, just with the camera style and the kind of bizarreness of the stories. And it's a little more horror centric. So that's been interesting to watch. One episode that has really stood out to me is called Green Fingers, I believe it is, which Rod Serling wrote, and it's based on a short story by R.C. Cook, but it really just freaked me out. It's kind of your classic, like, person dies and comes back to life kind of creep show style, but it really got under my skin, and I just love the imagery of that series. So I'm definitely looking forward to checking out more of that.
Wait, Night Gallery was the series created in the 70s or like
late 60s, wasn't it?
I think the pilot aired in 69, and then the show began airing in 1970 and then ended in 73, according to my Wikipedia research here.
Okay. The algorithm.
Yeah. Well, according to my IMDb, it says 69 to 73.
Ooh. Well, either way, a sweet spot right there for anthology television. And it's interesting.
Did this Green Fingers episode, do you know who directed it? Because Steven Spielberg did direct a couple episodes.
Ooh.
I know he directed the one with Joan Crawford.
It looks like John Badham directed it.
Wow. Really?
So, yeah.
That's amazing.
If you're keeping score at home. So, yeah. And I'm sure I would guess that you've probably done some drive and dust stops on his work.
No, because he leans towards action, but he's one of my all-time favorite action directors. I mean,
okay.
Blue Thunder.
Ooh. Oh, is that the Burt Reynolds? No, I'm thinking of
that's Cannonball
Lightning.
What? How do you get that out of?
I just figured 80s action movie. It's got to have Burt Reynolds in it, right?
No, Blue Thunder is with Roy Scheider.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, this I got to see. I'm looking at it now online. This looks like a very good movie.
Have you never seen Blue Thunder?
I've never seen it.
Oh, it's terrific. It's
Daniel Stern.
Yeah, Dan O'Bannon co-wrote it.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, no, Badham was like a great action director. Nick of Time with Christopher Walken and Johnny Depp, and it's done in real time, where a guy's daughter is kidnapped and he has to detonate a bomb or something, or his daughter will be killed, and the whole thing unfolds. Have you seen this, Tamika?
Yes.
That's a great movie, eh?
It is. It is a great movie.
And he also did Saturday Night Fever and Short Circuit and on and on. And
Oh,
on.
okay.
Drop Zone, The Hard Way, Stakeout, tons.
I've got some watching to do.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
no,
you
he's one of my favorite like action directors of all time. Yeah.
Wow. Well, I definitely would recommend that Night Gallery episode then. A little more. There's your dust off. I guess it'd be more of a tube, but that it came
Rest
from the
in
tube.
peace. It came from the tube. God bless it. Someday, who knows?
Hey, everything can come back from the dead when it comes to horror.
You got that right, sister.
True. True.
Well, on that note, let's now that we're kind of caught up on what we've been watching recently, I think it's time to look ahead at the calendar. We're going out of 80s action movies and into the future, the near future, that is.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to go around and share a few of our, I guess one at a time, we'll share our most anticipated horror, thriller, sci-fi, whatever genre jumps out at us. But we're going to pick our most anticipated movies coming out in the next few months. Tamika, why don't we start with you? What is one of your 3 picks for most anticipated film coming out soon?
Okay. Oh, most anticipated out of the 3 that I picked. Okay. So it has to be, I'm pretty sure it's called The Night House, because when talking about trailers, I've been getting this one a lot. So thank you, YouTube, for that. But yeah, that. And I get Candyman a lot too, actually. But yeah, so I had to look up the actress's name because I know I've seen her in things and she's such a good actress. But like, for some reason, like your name, like I had to see you like enough for your name to stick. And I guess like for some reason her name didn't stick. But Rebecca Hall, she's so good at emoting. And I'm like super jealous of that. Like, just like her like quiet, like the being able to emote without moving her face. I'm working on it. But Rebecca, she's so good at that. And I'm excited to see her in a horror movie.
So this is The Night House?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And,
what's it? Sorry, I haven't even seen the trailer for this. What is this one about?
Okay. So
Adam Wingard, right?
Right.
No?
Actually,
Yes.
David Bruckner.
Sorry.
Wait.
Darn.
No.
Right.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. You're right. It is David Bruckner. My bad. I'm like trying to like quickly like look up stuff because again, like the names like escape me, but like I know like their faces. Okay, so this is what I gathered from the trailers. Now I could be wrong, obviously, but okay, so she's in this like house, right? And her husband. Oh, wait. Okay, that's not a spoiler because that's what I'm gathering from the trailer. Okay, so her husband died. So she's in the house alone by herself, and he's like haunting the house, and like just really weird, trippy things happen. And I'm not sure if he's haunting the house because he's trying to like warn her about something, like, or if he's a bad person, like what's that movie, like The Invisible Man, like if he's like abusive or something, and so like even in death he's like haunting her. I don't know, but it actually like genuinely creeped me out like the first time I saw the trailer, so I'm like super pumped. I kind of wish, I don't know if like and yeah, The Night House, because like at first I thought maybe like it was like how some people, like really well-to-do people usually, but they have like a second home or like a summer home or something.
I've heard of
right.
Like, yeah, like she was there because like he passed away, so she went there to like reconnect with him or something. I don't know, but something really supernatural is going on, and I'm excited for whatever.
That sounds kind of Stephen Kingy,
It does.
I don't mean that in a negative way at all, but it's got kind of that King vibe to it, just from your description.
Yeah. And like the way it's like shot, like the aesthetics, talk about hashtags, hashtag aesthetics. And like the way like the film looks, it feels really like that Stephen King, Gerald's Game. It felt kind of like that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably why his name popped in my head. Like,
Yeah.
that kind of vibe.
Yes, exactly. It's a Stephen King vibe.
That's a good vibe to have.
Trailer. I gotta check out that trailer.
Yeah. And it's really short. So it might even,
nice.
Teaser's usually only like 30 seconds. This is longer than that, but it's like a real short trailer.
All right.
Sometimes that's nice though, because then it ends on an exclamation point. You don't get too much from it. Like it's not oversaturated or anything like that.
Yeah. Like
no, I want the first 30 minutes as a trailer.
You want to see everything.
And then you'll get my $13 to see the other half.
Oh, okay.
So
they really hook you.
I don't know who that benefits at all. I have no idea. That's a stupid plan, Scott, and you should delete that from history.
Oh, give me some
the new age of marketing.
Yes. Yeah.
I've been excited. I'm glad you picked this one, Tamika, because I've been excited for it for a long time. I remember Heather Wixon actually reviewed it for Sundance last year.
Right.
And I remember she gave it a really good review, a 4 out of 5, and she really, really liked it. And I've just been wanting to know more about it ever since. And yeah, after seeing a little tease of what's to come with it, I really am excited for that to come out. And it looks like it will be coming out on August 20th. So right around the corner at the time this episode is released.
Yeah. That excited me too, because I thought, great, they're going to hold this for October or something, which is fine. I understand. But when I got hit with August, I was like, oh, yes. Okay.
Yeah, I cannot believe when we were looking for movies to pick for this episode, just how many amazing movies are coming out in like a 3-month span. I think everything that got delayed is finally coming out, and there's stuff that was already on the calendar that's coming out. So I'm really excited for this one. And yeah, I'm curious to see what that Stephen King vibe's all about. So Scott, maybe we'll go to you for your first pick. What are you looking forward to on that calendar?
Well, partner, coming out just next week, Don't Breathe 2.
Ooh.
I was a big fan of the first one. I loved Fede Alvarez's direction, and I just thought it was a very a creative film. Turkey baster, no turkey baster, although that is a big division point for people, and I say fair enough. This sequel, I remember when the first trailer came out for this sequel, everyone kind of sat back and went, oh, is he the hero in this one? Or an anti-hero, which is what they seem to be referring to him now in the marketing for it, as an anti-hero, because the new trailer, he's protecting a little girl from a bunch of bad guys. So I find that fascinating. That aspect of it fascinating, how that's going to be handled. Where is that line going to be drawn? Or is there going to be a line? What side is the movie going to come down on? Any side of the protag/antagonist? I am eager to find out. And while Fede Alvarez isn't directing this one, he did co-write it with his co-writer of many films, Rodo Sayagas. If I'm butchering his name, I apologize. So I'm really looking forward to seeing, a fresh vision there brought to this material. Maybe it'll be a slightly different take. Maybe it'll be more of the same, but I find the way that they're positioning the moral angle of it to be really quite intriguing.
Yeah, this one I'm really curious about the direction they're going to take it in, because like you, I was kind of wondering, okay, is Stephen Lang's character, like, how do you portray him after what we know, what we found out in the second half of the original Don't Breathe? And it's kind of one of those movies where I was originally, when I heard that they were going to do a sequel, and it looks like, they're going away from the characters, some of the characters from the first one, they're focusing just on Stephen Lang's character. It's kind of like, how do you do that? I'm really, and not like I'm mad about that. I'm just really curious. How are you going to do that? And it's almost like a magic trick. I have to go and see how they, like, what direction they take it in. But yeah, the latest marketing for it just looks really gnarly, and it looks like they're even amping up some of the traps, and it kind of has like a Saw movie vibe to it in a way, except it's like if you followed Jigsaw.
It seems pretty grisly, which I'm also quite excited about.
Yeah, because we all know they didn't hold back first time around, so they know what our expectations are going into it this time, and I'm really curious to see just where exactly it goes, and is there any redemption that can be found there with his character? Is like, how, do we root for him? Do we not root? I mean, it's really interesting in that whole dynamic. It's as an audience member, it kind of gives you a lot of layers to sort through. So I'm really excited for that. And then, yeah, who knows what we might see after some of the traps that we saw in the first one. So definitely a good pick. And that's coming out August 13th. So right around the corner here.
Friday the 13th.
Oh my goodness.
That's right. Ooh.
I wonder if they picked that date for that reason.
Anything horror related tries, if they can get a Friday the 13th that isn't being taken over by Paramount, they'll do it.
Too soon, Scotty. Too soon.
Too soon. It's not even over.
I know.
We're in it.
I know.
So anyway, yeah, Don't Breathe 2, August 13th. Grab your hammer and go to work.
Okay. So I have a question. Okay, so it's been a while since I've seen Don't Breathe. I'm almost certain I remember that ending. But is there any chance that the girl that he's protecting is like his daughter or something?
Oh, I don't know. Who knows? I mean, that's possible.
Oh dear. Because when you asked the question, like, I think that was Derek, we're supposed to root, like, should we root for him? Like, are we supposed to root for him? I thought maybe they threw that in to kind of be like the answer to that question for the audience. Like, we're trying to redeem him, so look at this like thing he's doing. Like,
well, I mean, you can't help you can't help but get that feeling especially from watching the latest trailer. But we're talking about 2 minutes out of 90, so
true.
Who knows? But I'm eager to find out.
But if you had it your way, Scott, it'd be 30 minutes out of 90, right?
That's right. Yes, my foolproof plan, whatever it was.
Well, I'm sure you can get some royalties out of that. So
yeah,
I'm gonna go for my first pick. I'm also going with, I guess you would call it a sequel. Maybe you'd call it a reboot. Maybe you'd call it a continuation of some sort. But I'm gonna go with Ghostbusters Afterlife.
A regoo.
Yeah, there we go.
A regoo.
Oh yeah, okay.
Very ectoplasmic.
Yeah.
and this one is compared to those August releases, got to wait a little bit longer for this, coming out November 11th, and originally was going to come out last summer, but pushed to the fall of this year. So I'm really excited for this one. I feel like it might be cliche to say that everything has like a Stranger Things vibe, and I know that Finn Wolfhard is one of the key characters in this movie, but it does feel like, I guess, a Stranger Things kind of approach to a Ghostbusters story, where you have the kids coming together. It's like the next generation, but really the latest trailer just totally sold me on it, because I've enjoyed Ghostbusters. I really liked what Paul Feig did with his Ghostbusters several years ago. So I mean, I've always enjoyed the Ghostbusters movies, but this one, like, just the trailer where it kind of had this like whimsical Spielbergian vibe to it, just really captured my imagination. And I just love like how it looks like they're going to try and bring back some familiar faces in this one, while also kind of introducing the next generation of Ghostbusters. And it just really got me amped up watching that trailer. And you've got Paul Rudd in the cast, who I think you can't go wrong when Paul Rudd's involved. Although I think him being involved with this movie kind of prevented him from being able to do a certain new movie in the Halloween franchise. So I kind of have mixed emotions about that, but yeah, there just looks like a lot to look forward to here. And then of course you have those cute little Stay Puffed marshmallow men that are like making themselves into s'mores. So I'm really excited to see kind of how things come together in this and how they link it to like the first two Ghostbusters. And that's, as someone who enjoyed what they did with Ghostbusters a few years ago, I had a blast with that too. But I'm curious to see kind of like what feels more like a Ghostbusters 3 with this one. And who knows, maybe it'll be fun for the whole family too.
That would be a nice feeling, because I'm in the same boat as you, Derek. I think I've liked all the iterations of Ghostbusters. I haven't watched the new trailer yet. And I love your optimism for it, because we should have optimism for it and we should look forward to it. And, with the beating that Feegs took, it just left a really sour taste in my mouth. Mm-hmm. And that's not the film's fault. That's the fandom's fault, right? Which came out and proved to be, as toxic as Star Wars.
You're preaching, Scotty.
So honestly, I do want to see it, but it's not my expectations that have been like tampered as much as that goodwill that I always associated with the label Ghostbusters,
mm-hmm.
So,
oh yeah.
But I love how you're going and raging with that full optimism that frankly I think we all should have, but man, they just beat it out of me a couple years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So good pick.
Yeah.
No.
Well, thank you.
But no. Yeah. And that was filmed right here in Calgary, don't you know?
Oh,
really?
Yep.
Oh my goodness. So you've had
Calgary
some supernatural
and area. Yes.
Interesting. Did you see any ghosts walking around town when this was going on?
I saw no ghosts. I saw no Ghostbusters. I think a picture of Paul Rudd showed up on Facebook where he was having dinner at a Calgary bar or something. I forget. But that's about it, man. Yeah.
Oh,
it's cool. Kind of like on when I say Calgary, I think they did some stuff in city, but all of that kind of deserty kind of stuff you see, that's all us too.
Awesome.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
wow. Well, we got when it comes out, we'll have to see. You can give us kind of a local walk us through the local tour aspect of it, and let us know if you recognize anything.
Oh, sure, and I can just make it up.
Yeah, you never know. I might drive up there and check.
I wouldn't make it up unless I didn't know what it was.
Hey, I've Google mapped this. I think I can get there if I drive for 24 hours straight.
Yep, we clocked it.
The little marshmallow men.
Oh yeah.
What was that? Remember that Christmas movie that I got into some heat for not liking a bit initially?
Krampus.
Oh,
Krampus, yes. The little gingerbread men or whatever.
Yeah, the ginger ninjas.
Yes. I thought, this reminds me of that Christmas movie. I think
That I hated.
There's maybe you'll be more team Stay Puffed. Who knows?
Yeah. I mean, marshmallows, I can't eat them, but once upon a time, I did eat them when I was a kid. I didn't care how food made me feel. And marshmallows are delicious.
Yeah, I can't. You won't get any argument from me on that one. I don't know if I don't know what it'd be like having like marshmallow, like a s'more that's like part alive. That would kind of freak me out. But maybe it's just as delicious. I'd be scared to find out, but looks like we'll be finding out this November.
Yeah, November. That
Time has no meaning anymore. It'll be here tomorrow. November's tomorrow.
That's true.
Yeah,
true.
It really is.
Don't Breathe 2 came out 6 months ago. I read it. Wow. It's true. I read it somewhere.
Yeah, and the internet never lies.
Well, we don't. That's for sure.
Yes. Yeah.
And as we go through this time warp, let's circle back to Tamika. What is your number 2 pick?
Okay, so it's a movie called. Now, I'm pretty sure that it didn't come out yet. I'm pretty sure, but I didn't get a chance to quickly Google. But it's a movie with Anya Taylor-Joy, who I just also really enjoy because she's also what I call like a good emoter. Like she's got like good like emote like without moving her face. She's another one, and it's called Last Night in Soho.
Yes.
You're right. Yeah.
And I like that. It's another movie where I haven't been intrigued by like a movie's premise in a while. Because usually what gets me to go, like get excited for a movie is either like some really cool like stunts, or, like fight scenes or something in the trailer, or like it's like sorry, Scotty, it's a franchise.
Put it in the jar.
Yeah, quarter. Okay.
Here comes that pizza.
I won't say it anymore. But so I'm excited just because it's like an existing property. There we go. I got around it.
See, there's no way to make it sound. They all sound the same. It's just part of the business.
True. Okay.
I've just got to accept it and move on, Tamika. Say franchise as freely as you like, please.
Okay. Warm hug though. Warm hug as I say it.
Okay.
Okay. So that's usually what sucks me in. But like with this movie and with Old, although that let me down, I'm like really intrigued because I'm like, wait, okay. So does the hotel have some sort of like powers or something? Or is it like a time portal, or I don't even know what the word is for that. It transports her into like a different time. Cause like, how is she becoming like this former entertainer,
Yeah.
How does she?
It seems
like,
very 60-ish,
yeah.
60-ish London kind of mod mixed with like Mario Bava is kind of what it feels like to me, or like an Italian. It feels like an Italian movie, like something like a Blow Up from the 60s, but it still keeps that sensibility, but clearly the aesthetic has been, improved for its time.
Right.
Tenfold kind of thing. That's kind of the vibe that I got anyway from it.
Okay.
I wasn't crazy about Baby Driver. Maybe it was just the story itself that didn't grab me. So this story seems to me more interesting and in my wheelhouse. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to that one too.
Yeah, I love when I can like watch a trailer and then sit and think about, okay, what is going on here, and then like looking forward to if I'm right or wrong, or like just the story. I just want to see how this plays out, because 60s mod, that's good, Scotty. Like that's been like London in the 60s and 70s, like that's been like the popular like setting recently, I've noticed.
Yeah, it feels like that's where nostalgia is kind of at right now with some of the stuff we're seeing.
This is interesting. Okay, so we went from the 2000s and we just went full. We skipped the 2010s because I guess that's too recent to be nostalgic about. But we just wrapped around to like the mid to late 60s. Okay.
What I love too about the trailer for this is like how it seems so whimsical, and it almost seems like a romantic drama, and then it gradually, like, you kind of notice something's off, and it's this like creeping sense of dread, almost like an Alice in Wonderland type of vibe. And so I just love like when stories, it almost seems like, oh, it's a magical fairy tale, and then it's kind of like, oh, wait a minute, I don't know. I don't know if this is all good. So almost like a Coraline vibe or Alice in Wonderland. So I'm really curious to see how that all plays out. And then on top of that, just the fact that Edgar Wright is directing it, it's kind of makes it like a must see, because, just going back to his, I think it was the Cornetta trilogy days of Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz, and
oh God.
Oh, the pub crawl one. The end of
is it the end of the world? Or no? Yeah, it is.
World's End.
The World's End. That's it.
Close. I was circling the drain.
I knew it had something to do with an apocalyptic theme.
Yeah.
But that I'm really excited for is that he's directing it, and then just the fact too that it's like you mentioned, it's something like original and new, and it's not like, based on, it's not like the next film, and I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say that word, but
you can say it. I'll give him
the franchise. It's not, yeah. And as much as I love franchises, it's great. It's great to see this, see like a kind of a cool new idea like this come out. And it looks like Edgar Wright wrote the screenplay with Christy Wilson Cairns, who I believe wrote 1917. So I'm really curious to see, what this all looks like. And I guess she co-wrote it with Sam Mendes, the 1917. But yeah, I'm excited for this. I'm glad you picked it, because it's another, like, I hope these movies don't get lost, because there's so much coming out in the next 3 or 4 months. And I really hope that we can all make time to enjoy each of one of these, like a 7-course meal. You just want to savor each dish. So
yeah, I didn't think about that. Like making sure that they're spaced out, because now we're getting movies in theaters and movies that are new coming out on like streaming. So we're getting like a lot of just like a film sandwich.
Yeah, it's kind of like you want horror movies in the fall? Well, here you go. Like, because it used to be the thing that we didn't really get as many horror movies coming out around the Halloween season. And this year it's like, oh, okay, here's more than you can handle, which is a great problem to have. But it's going to be interesting. And I think Last Night in Soho, it looks like it's coming out October 29th. I believe it got pushed slightly to that date. So definitely going to be like Halloween weekend vibes with that one. And yeah, it'll be interesting to see. But so going from Soho, Scott, what is your number 2 pick? Is it London?
Sorry, London?
London themed?
It is not London themed. It is not whatsoever, but I do have a theme going. Apparently, I'm going week by week because a week after Don't Breathe 2 comes out, Neil Blomkamp's Demonic comes out.
Ooh.
And I'm quite interested to see this one, and it's going to sound weird, but I'm not really a fan of his work so far, but I think he's a talented guy. So I'm quite interested to see what he does with a straight up supernatural horror movie. And it's really for that reason alone that I picked it, because I do want to give, I think he has a lot of good qualities as a director. And I want to see if it plays better or works better, for me anyway, in horror. So yeah, Demonic. And I think, yeah, August 20th, we're getting that.
Yes, August 20th theatrical, and it looks like coming to VOD maybe as early as August 27th. So you might have kind of a multi viewing approach on that one, which I think is really awesome, that you can, when you can give like people that choice. I think that's really cool. But yeah, this one it looks like theatrical, digital, and VOD on August 20th. Oh, so maybe you can see it all 3 ways on August 20th. So that is even better. But
or pick one. You can just go to one.
That would probably be the more logical way to do it.
You know, especially if you don't like it. If you don't like it, don't go see it 3 times. That's just silly.
Well, unless you really want to support it. But yeah, you can watch other movies by Blomkamp if you really want to support him. But yeah, I'm excited to see this too. This is like maybe the biggest question mark for me, because I really just don't know what to expect.
Well, that's where I'm at too. Yeah. It's like a dark horse, right? It's like, okay, it's a big old question mark. It's like, I have no idea how this is going to turn out.
Which is exciting, because we've seen Neil Blomkamp. He's played around in the sci-fi sandbox for years, and I know he's some people love what he does. Some people not as big of a fan of his work. I find like his work always has like this really high energy, like the kind of the camera angles. And he was doing a lot of like first person POV when he was doing District 9 and Elysium. And so I'm really excited to see what he brings to the table for like a possession movie. Like that just sounds so interesting, or just like a horror movie in general. So I'm really just excited to see his approach to that whole genre space. And then also, this was the same guy who it seemed like we kind of got teased with that Alien movie that he was going to do. And then right. Remember, like every other day you got these great, like exciting updates about this is the sequel to Aliens that Neil Blomkamp's going to do. And here's some more concept art. And it was like, oh, Michael Bihn's going to come back. And I remember like there's just so much excitement about like continuing Sigourney Weaver's story with that movie. And then everything kind of changed. And, with with the things changed with, Ridley Scott ended up coming back and doing his new Alien movie. So we never got to see that. And I thought that would have been like a great blend of horror and sci-fi. So I'm kind of like hoping that we get some of that in this movie. Maybe it's secretly an Alien movie.
Oh my gosh. Like
maybe it's a Blair Witch movie.
Yeah.
What's the other one where like they would take movies and then make them into Cloverfield?
Oh, yep.
Yeah.
When we got the Cloverfield paradox on Super Bowl Sunday that one year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What if this is the new Exorcist and it got fast tracked? We're just finding stuff out now.
Oh my gosh.
Because they wouldn't want to capitalize on the Exorcist with an Exorcist movie.
Did we? Yeah, it's not the $440 million version, but this is the secret $1 million version.
That's right.
But yeah, this will be interesting.
Yeah,
I will find out.
That,
And he did some. He did some really like creepy stuff with his Oats Studios short films that came out a couple of years ago. So we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. What do you got next?
Oh my gosh, is it already back to me again? Speaking of a time warp.
It is.
Well, so for my second one, I'm going to go a little indie movie called Venom or Venom 2.
Oh.
Or really, I guess it's Venom Rise or Let There Be Carnage. Let There Be Light. No, Let There Be Carnage. I was like, I knew it's something like
presents, that. GE presents Venom 2. No, okay. I think it's Venom is Sony quite clearly. I think they've made it clear that they're Sony.
So this one is really interesting because I enjoyed the first Venom movie like way more than I thought I would. Just something about the slapstick humor of it and Tom Hardy's performance in that one really surprised me, like how comedic it actually was and just like how much fun they had with that movie as like dark as and kind of violent as it got at times. Like I feel like it really, I don't know, it just like captured the character of Venom really well. And so now with them coming back, and then it also made just a ton of money. So coming back for Let There Be Carnage, I'm really curious to see where they go from what they did in the first one, and then also getting Woody Harrelson to play Carnage, who was always like a comic book villain that kind of freaked me out as a kid because it seemed like he would take things like one step further than most other villains, and just like his background as a serial killer made him like dangerous even before he got his powers, and it just it just really freaked me out. So I'm really curious about this one. The trailer looks like they're doubling down on like the fun kind of comedic aspect of it, but then it also looks like Woody Harrelson's going to be a really creepy villain. So I'm excited for this one. I'm hoping it lives up to the hype, and we won't have to wait long because it comes out September 24th.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it too. I'm in the same boat as you. I enjoyed the first one more than I thought I was going to. I thought Tom Hardy was great, and I think Woody Harrelson will make a terrific villain. No matter if he looks ridiculous or not, he's going to lean into the role and really bring it. So yeah, that one, I think that one's just going to be, I hope it's just fun, and what I liked about the first one, and we're not talking global scale stuff, It's nice to have just a rooted story, like a story, a world unto itself, I like that.
A contained story, right?
You got it.
Boom. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. And with that, I think it's a San Francisco background. So it's kind of like a Full House story if you think about it.
Not like one of those like lost, like the quote, air quotes, lost episodes of Full House.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Uncle Jesse's possessed by an alien symbiote.
Yeah. It gets real dark. Real fast.
Maybe they'll save that for the third one. I don't know.
I hope there is. Now I know we said no.
You guys are masochists. man.
I know we said that, but
Full House is just terrible. It's just it's awful.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, you guys
Well,
are.
I mean,
Come on.
children.
No,
children.
come on.
Get a pass. We were children.
Think of the children and don't show it to them.
Well, now they're watching Fuller House.
That's right.
Oh, yeah.
The legend continues.
You think the original was good. Fuller's even better. Oh, I'm not going to crap on anyone's parade if you like.
You got it, dude.
Enjoy. I liked Hello Larry, so what do I know? That's for the over 50 crowd, that one.
It's okay. I sense a lot of like beating yourself up over there in Canada. And I just want you to know it's okay to like Hello Larry, whatever that is. It's okay.
I hope you look it up after.
I am. I can't wait.
Yeah, now we've got homework.
That's right.
That's right. Yeah.
If you thought Full House was good, wait till you see Hello Larry.
Hello Larry.
Hello Larry. Hello Larry. No. Hello Larry.
Wait, is that the theme song?
Yeah. Yeah, McLean Stevenson from MASH. He played he was not a disc jockey, but he was like an on-air psychiatrist or something, kind of like Frasier, but before Frasier.
Mm.
And he had his two daughters, Donna Wilkes, his older daughter from Jaws 2. Because she was the wholesome, and then she did Angel in the early 80s there, and lots of horror stuff. And the younger daughter was played by Kim Richards.
Huh.
Kim Richards from the Witch Mountain movies. Kim Richards who gets shot in the chest in Assault on Precinct 13.
Oh,
hey, spoilers. No.
She's legit.
Yeah.
Spoilers.
Yeah. Well, that's when she was at like the peak of her popularity. And I'm telling you, it's not a good show, but I love it. So
that's a blurb.
It's not a good show, but I love it. So, you know.
So there you go.
Well, speaking of things that we love, Tamika, what is the one you're really looking forward to seeing, your third pick for anticipated film of late summer / fall?
Okay. I think I saw this on someone else's list.
Oh, that's all right. Cause I called, I had a backup.
Are you sure?
Oh yeah.
Wait,
no. And I'm comfortable with it.
Say? Okay.
Oh yeah. It's all good.
Wait, no. Not Halloween. The other one.
The other
starts with a C
film.
Yes.
Ends with an N.
Yes.
Has a Y in the middle.
Yes.
Is it Countryman?
It is. You got it.
It's a good Jamaican movie.
Okay. So I got Hello Larry and The Countryman.
Countryman.
Oh, Countryman.
Countryman. It's a Jamaican movie.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Come on, get on it.
Oh, geez.
Supposed to know these things. Hello, Larry. Hello, Larry, and Countryman.
Okay.
Your
Countryman's
filmic journey is
cousin.
complete with those two things. Okay.
I think
Scott's film class.
Countryman's cousin.
Okay.
Candyman.
Oh, do tell.
Yeah. Not 1990, but this is technically wasn't it supposed to, it would have been 2020, but now it's 2021.
Yes.
Yes. I am so glad that this movie is finally, at first I thought, well, they should have, it's like as a way to like kind of celebrate the movie, the franchise. But also, as like we've been through a lot, this year. And, this could be a nice gift to kind of temporarily help us all, get things off of our minds. Like, so instead of skipping its release last year, like put it on VOD,
Right.
But now that I've had, sorry.
No, I'm you're preaching to the choir.
Yeah. But like now, since it's going to get a theatrical release, I'm just really happy to know that it's actually going to come out and that we finally get to see it, it feels like it's been a lot longer than a year, almost a year. It feels like an eternity.
Yeah. Well, and because it's been in the works for quite a while, and then completed, and everything shuts down.
Yeah.
I think we're feeling that. I think we're feeling that a lot.
Yes.
With our watching, with our horror movie watching, or otherwise, and then it puts you in a mode of you constantly feel like you're playing catch up. On even new releases, because now everything's just going to come spurting out like out of a whale, gushing out of a whale, right? Like,
yeah.
Hey, but there are worse problems to have.
Yes.
I think Nia DaCosta is going to hit it out of the park. They still have not told us who Candyman is. We all know who we want it to be. But he's in the movie somewhere. They just haven't told us what. So, I mean, this is the kind of Christmas Eve. This is Christmas Eve stuff for horror junkies like us, right? Getting these little tidbits, these little gifts, before we get there. And I think it's going to be totally worth the wait. I think it's going to, I really deep down, I think it's going to be a great movie.
Yeah. Yeah. The anticipation on this one is definitely high for me too. And I, like you said, Tamika, it feels like we've been waiting so long to see this. And I'm glad that, hopefully people will safely be able to see it on a big screen. And just, the element of how they're going to continue this story, and it looks just really, really unsettling, like the horror aspects of it and how they're playing around with the myth of the Candyman. And just, I think they're really Nia DaCosta, I think just going to bring something really, really cool to this universe. And I love everything about that trailer that came out, and the Say My Name is just like the greatest use of that song that you could imagine. It's so perfect for this movie. So I'm super excited for this, and the cast is just phenomenal too. So this is going to be really, really interesting. And I think it's one that it's weird because it almost feels like it came out and it's like, oh yeah, we still have that to look forward to. That's awesome. So
well, we've lived.
So happy.
It feels like we've lived with a lot of these movies for a long time already, right?
Yeah. It really does. Like time
and I think we should all be proud of ourselves for the patience to just wait. Because all good things come to those who wait. My probation officer told me that.
Sound wisdom.
I think so.
It's funny, Derek, that you brought up Say My Name, because I love the marketing for Candyman. Like, it's been so perfect, even though it's like it had to stop and start, a couple times. It's just so, I just love how it's just like perfection. I don't know how else to describe it, because, you wouldn't expect like a Destiny's Child song like that to to work so perfectly for a movie like Candyman, but it does. It's like when Jordan, well, I don't know if Jordan Peele picked it, but I got 5 on it. But in the Us trailer, it was just like, oh God, that is so, so perfect. Like it's just so in tune with like the culture and like the like overall like vibe of the film. And like I don't know, I just feel like this I'm ready. I'm not trying to speed up time, although it'll do that on its own. But my body is ready. I'm ready, Candy. Oh no, I said it twice. Wait, how many times did I say it? I've lost track.
I think you still got a few to spare, so you should be okay.
I only did it twice, I think. Yeah, so I'm good.
If you say Countryman's name 5 times, a pot field explodes in Jamaica.
But I feel like that's
True story.
not nearly as scary.
No, that's not scary.
Not at all. No offense to Countryman. No offense.
None taken.
No offense. Okay.
None taken. Just cool.
I just want to make sure listen, my Jamaican friends. But have either of you actually, like, when you're at any age, not judging at any age, either of you ever gone like into the bathroom, or that's where for some reason kids love to go into the bathroom and turn the light off and say it. But have either of you done that to like see if it works?
Oh, I did it when it came. I mean, I was 20 when it came out, so it's not really that I was scared, but what the hell.
And then someone came through your mirror
and gave me a shave. Thank you.
Oh no!
I did it, but I mean, I'm older than you guys. I'm assuming that you guys were doing this when you were like little kids.
Yeah. No, I was too scared. I've never done it.
Well, for me, it was Bloody Mary.
Yes.
That was the one that was where I was growing up. That was, for whatever reason, that was the version that we got when it came to like looking in the mirror and saying someone's name. And I think it was like only 3 times or something like that, but it was also very freaky. Like I think I got the courage to do it once and I just totally freaked myself out because I was convinced that the ghost of Bloody Mary would show up and just hack me to pieces. And as far as I know, that didn't happen, but it still really freaked me out because there's also just something creepy about like turning all the lights off in the bathroom and like looking in the mirror. Like, I don't know. It just seems like nothing good will come from that.
Are you a child too young to watch horror? Welcome to the Corpse Club podcast. We'd love to have you. It's right. All of us, basically.
Yep.
And also, I mean, if you, like the listeners, did you do this? Because I know I'm a grown person, but still, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing either.
I'll do it right on the air. I'll do it right on the air. But
oh my gosh. Scott, are you insane?
Candyman.
Don't do it.
Candyman.
Come on, let's talk about this.
Candyman.
Scott.
Candyman.
Oh God. Oh God.
No more.
Countryman.
Countryman.
Thank you for taking that detour.
Yeah.
we can't like, what if Candyman goes on the airwaves and all of our listeners then have Candyman popping up in their homes, and then we're responsible for that, Scott.
Tamika, you could. I think you should put that in your emoting notebook for good emoters.
Okay.
I think it was a good moment. That should be noted. All right. Thank you.
Got my heart rate up. Jeepers.
Agreed.
Well, on that note, Scott, if you're done reciting Candyman 5 times, what is your third pick?
My third pick is the one I'm the most excited about and have been, is Halloween Kills, of course, out on October 15th, probably, definitely. This is another one of those where our patience will hopefully pay off, right? This was supposed to be out last year, and this year we were to get Halloween Ends, the finale. of this trilogy by David Gordon Green and John Carpenter, Danny McBride, creating this new franchise. Hey.
Oh, there you go.
Oh,
See, it works.
We can all get along. It's not a problem, folks. The trailer for this, I just absolutely love the latest trailer for this. It really sets the scene for what this movie is going to be, which is, a good hour and a half or an hour 40 minutes of carnage and mayhem. And Carpenter himself has said the body count in this one is way up. It looks like a lot of high energy. And also what I like is it does kind of mirror the original Halloween 2 a little bit in that they go to the hospital. But what I love about this is this becomes a whole town, it seems, against Michael. So it gives it this kind of what I'm hoping they're going for, which is a sense of empowerment against him. I'm just really excited about it because I loved 2018's Halloween. I loved what they did with it, and I'm super psyched for Halloween Kills.
yeah. To think that this year we would be at the end of the franchise. So in a way, it's kind of odd because it's like, oh, we'd be at the finish line now. We would have already have gotten 2 movies, but I think it's better this way because we get to savor. We get to savor it now. We get
Yeah, it's nice.
I'm savoring as we speak.
Savoring.
Yeah.
Jamie Lee Curtis, I just love her. She's a real one. She's a real one.
Definitely.
Sure.
Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very interested to see Anthony Michael Hall in it as well.
Right.
And Kyle Richards is back.
Mm-hmm.
And I know people are just
Nancy Stevens.
And I know people are just going to, chalk that up to, well, that's just nostalgia. But, it's a continuation of the story. And in that continuation of the story, there are going to be reflections and echoes of what came before. And for the most part, that's all intentional to enhance the story that they're telling now. I don't think that the Halloween from 2018 was, as some people did say, just a nostalgia machine. I didn't find it that way at all. I found it to be a really compelling next chapter, albeit 40 years later, of this story. And anyway, from the trailer, I'm getting a great sense of high energy, fun, and hopefully some suspense too.
Yeah, I know it might sound kind of cliche, but it feels like the aliens to 2018's Halloween being Alien, where it feels like this is going to be, like you said, the body count's bigger. It's going to be a little more, I guess you could say, like more action, more like murder set pieces and that kind of thing. But I'm just so excited to see all these familiar faces come back, because it's been amazing to see Jamie Lee Curtis back as Laurie Strode. And now, like you mentioned, we're going to get all these other characters from her life from that first movie that are going to be involved to some extent. And it's going to be really interesting. I'm very curious to see how they set this story up and how they kind of ramp things up from the first, or from the 2018 film. And now, especially now that we have the 3 generations of Strode, which was so awesome to see with Laurie, and then Judy Greer's character and Annie Matichak. Like I'm very curious to see, now that we've kind of gotten to the point where they're all on board with, okay, Michael Myers is out and he's a real threat and they've seen what he can do. Now I'm curious to see how each of them face off against him or their demons or whatever they have to do in this movie to survive. And then on top of that, we know we're guaranteed another movie the following year, which is just amazing that we actually can know that this story will be concluded for Laurie Strode. And this is like that middle chapter where it's like great because we kind of know what to expect after the first one, but then we know we get more after this one. So it's such a cool place to be. And like I said, Tamika, we get a whole nother year to look forward to the last one. So it's like a win-win.
And I'm very curious to find out in this movie if we're going to find out what happens to Lonnie's ass. Because Lonnie is in this movie. And I wonder if he's going to get what's coming to him for the pumpkin smashing.
Oh, yes. Yes, that would be curious. And isn't he the dad of the boyfriend from the 2018 movie too? I think he was. I think he is. Yes.
Because, because Allison's dad says, me and your old man, Lonnie, went to school together.
Oh, okay. Yeah, there's this. We need a family tree of like, or a yarn board or something for all these connections, because it feels like, because that David Gordon Green and Danny McBride are such fans of these movies that they know it inside and out. So they like taking the smallest characters, even characters that were just mentioned, and they're like putting them into the movie. So I'm really curious. I'm gonna have to like rewatch that first one so many times before seeing this one.
I'm fine with that. I'm totally fine with that. I recommend that to everyone.
It's a good problem to have.
Yeah, it is.
Well, I think for my third pick, so we've got some great, some really great big releases coming out. We've got Ghostbusters. We've got a new Candyman movie, new Halloween movie. I mean, there's something for every horror fan coming out here in the near future. And on top of all that, believe it or not, we have a new James Wan movie coming out called Malignant. And that's slated to come out September 10th. And I just cannot believe like how spoiled we are this fall as horror fans, because based on the trailer, it's another like original idea. James Wan directing from a screenplay by Akila Cooper. And it looks like a mashup of like Sinister and Insidious. And I know he didn't do Sinister, but it kind of has that vibe. But like it looks like an Insidious movie, but also a Conjuring movie. And so there's this major like supernatural elements at play, but it's also kind of like a murder mystery interwoven throughout there. And I just love what I've seen in the trailer. I don't really know what to expect, but I guess I kind of do. It looks like a possession movie, but knowing Juan, he might throw in some like left turns in there. So I'm really excited to see just the whole execution of the scares, because I think Juan has definitely established himself as like the master of the jump scare, especially the last like 2 decades. He's really honed that skill. And I'm really excited to see what he does with this one. And especially like the latest Conjuring movie, I enjoyed, really enjoyed certain aspects of it, but as a whole, I was kind of like, oh, I really, I kind of was wanting a little more in some areas. So I kind of feel like this will give me that thing I'm jonesing for from James Wan, and the fact that he's kind of hopefully maybe even starting a new series of films with this. So a lot to be excited about with this one.
Well, what I'm curious about is, remember when Sam Raimi went and did the Spider-Man movies, and then when he came back and to horror, he did Drag Me to Hell, which I love. Drag Me to Hell.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess what I'm hoping for with this is going back to that smaller time fun that he used to have, coming off of a couple very large budget pictures. And I hope this one was done for fun and that it shows through, because if it's a good story, you know, he knows how to deliver it. So I hope he's doing this to, you know, get his own personal horror fix while we get ours.
Yeah. Because this is the first thing he's done since Aquaman, right? No.
As a director, yes, I believe so.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So yeah, I get that, you know, especially if that's your roots and it's really what you love, to be able to get back to that and, like, you know, start telling, like, you know, original ideas and like stories that you have. I'm just so happy for. This is also the time of the indie director, I feel. You know, I mean, I don't know if James Wan's considered an indie director anymore, but like Edgar Wright, you know, I feel like they're getting to go back to doing like little, like the things they like doing, you know, like you can tell like that's where their heart is.
Yeah, he kind of like brings that spirit, that indie spirit to like anything he works on.
Yeah, I'm just really happy for that. Good for you guys. For you. Like when James Gunn did Brightburn, you know?
Right. Oh, right.
You know, like I can tell, like they're like, okay, I did this. Now let me get back to like smaller stuff. I can like be myself. So yeah, Malignant. I forgot about this movie.
Yeah, it's and that'll be on HBO Max and in theaters, so you can see it from the comfort of your own couch if you want. Or yeah, I'm definitely enjoying how some of these movies, especially like the Warner Brothers movies, you know, you can watch them from home if you want to, or you can go to the theater if you're feeling good about that. So there's I cannot believe you know, everything that's coming out. I mean, even some that we didn't get to mention, Nightmare Alley, new Hotel Transylvania movie, Transformania, and the Addams Family 2 animated movie. So there's a lot of stuff coming out in the coming months, and I think it's going to be, who knows, maybe this will be like the ultimate fall for horror fans. There's just so many things coming out still in 2021. So even though it's a time warp, we can keep time with all the new releases coming out. And I thank both of you for taking the time to talk with me today. Always a pleasure.
Thanks, D-Dog.
Yes.
Anytime.
Bless up.
Bless up.
We'll get it hashtagging. And in the meantime, we also want to thank Brian, our engineer, for helping us out every episode. This wouldn't be possible without him. And as always, we want to thank our listeners, including those of you who have signed up for a Corpse Club membership. Make sure to visit corpseclub.com to check out our latest episode and all sorts of good stuff. You can also sign up to become a member, which gives you access to bonus content, and there's t-shirts and pins, and there's all sorts of ghoulish goodies for you to check out there. So be sure to visit corpseclub.com, and don't forget to rate and review us on Apple Podcasts. Every rating and review really does help. And you can also find us on Google Play, SoundCloud, and all of your favorite podcast providers. If you want to get in touch with us, you can reach us at any time at contact@corpseclub.com, or on Twitter at Daily Dead News or at Corpse Club, and on Instagram and Facebook under Corpse Club. Let us know what you're looking forward to this fall, winter, 2022, 2023. I mean, there's stuff that's planned out years in advance. So let us know what you're looking forward to, and maybe we'll even talk about it on an upcoming episode. But until then, thanks again for listening. And until next time, stay scary.